Guys, I have something I need to get off my chest, and quite frankly, this is long overdue. It really is. I should have done this months ago. But you know what? We're doing it now. It's better late than never. I want to apologize to my firstborn child reacting to your football hot takes. I've neglected you for far too long. I should have made this apology months ago, but I've been busy. Daddy's been working. He's been busy. And Daddy does this because, stop saying Daddy. Papi does this because he loves you. He does this because he loves you. But again, I should have texted. I should have called. It's been 3 weeks. It's been too long. I never even texted you to ask you if you need some money. Do you need some money? I got some money. I can give you some money. Not going to be a lot, but I'll give you some money. You know what I mean? I'll help you out. Who knows? You're out there in the big city. Who's taking care of you? It's not me. Are you selling your body? Are you selling your takes? What are you doing out there? I just feel so bad, man, because I've completely neglected this series. And a neglectful parent creates a lost child. And I just feel so bad because, as you guys know, over the past month and a half, me and my red hand brought another child into this world. I'm a two-kid parent now. Yeah, is that how you say? Yeah, I'm a two-kid parent now. I have 2 kids. TheFinalThreat.com, a month ago, I created this brand, and it's just been consuming me, man. I've been giving all my time and effort into this, and no time and effort into that. And that's not okay. But anyway, guys, this intro has been really all over the place. If you're new to this channel, you have no fucking idea what I'm talking about. But then again, I don't even know what I'm talking about. So you're really not that lost. You're in the loop. Don't worry about it. But anyway, today we're going to be reacting to your football hot takes. Today, this series is 26th birthday. So it's 3 years older than me. This series is 3 years older than me, which is absolutely insane. Like I said, one day you're teaching it how to walk, how to talk, and then the next day you're teaching it about the birds and the bees, and now they're 26 years old, and you're like, where did the time go? But anyway, guys, let's get this intro over with because I want to finish this video so I can go jerk off. So let's go. Our first take is Barca 2015 is the most overrated team of all time. You are the stupidest human being I've ever come across in my 23 years of life, my friend. Sam QP7FY, more like Sam Poopy. That's what you are, Sam Poopy. What is this take? How is Barca 2015 the most overrated team of all time? What makes a team like Barca 2015 overrated? They won every trophy you could possibly win. They had one of the best squads in the history of football. Their manager is an all-time manager. They dominated basically every competition they participated in. How is Barca 2015 an overrated team? You see, a lot of you guys say that I don't react to hot takes. I just react to unpopular opinions. Well, actually, I said that. You guys didn't say that. I said that. But a lot of you guys get mad that I don't react to actual hot takes. These are the actual hot takes I'm talking about here. How am I supposed to, like, what am I supposed to say to this? How is Barca 2015 overrated? The most overrated team of all time? How does that even work? They're one of the greatest teams in the history of football. They just simply are. You have a peak Messi, you have a peak Suarez, and you have a peak Neymar. 3 of the greatest players in the history of football, all at their peak, playing together in the front 3. Then you had a midfield that consisted of one of the greatest midfielders of all time in Iniesta, one of the most underrated and best midfielders of his generation in Ivan Rakitic, and then you had the greatest DM of all time, in my opinion, in Sergio Busquets. And then the back line consisted of Dani Alves. You can say what you want about him off the pitch. I don't really care. I mean, I do care, but, you know, that's not what we're talking about here. But he is the greatest right back of all time, in my opinion, or maybe Philip Lahm, but he's one of the best right backs of all time. You have Mascherano, again, another criminally underrated player. And then you have Gerard Piqué, again, one of the best players in his position of all time. And then on left back, you have Jordi Alba, who I had my issues with Jordi while he was at Barca, but he is one of the best left backs to ever grace the game, or definitely one of the best great left backs of his generation. And this time at Barca, especially at that time, he was amazing. And then at goalkeeper, you have Ter Stegen, who now Barca fans hate him, but at the time he was great. And again, you have Lucho as a coach. So I don't see, and again, beating the champions of the English, Italian, French, and German leagues all on your way to winning the UCL. I got that in the wrong order. First they beat Man City, then PSG, Ligue 1 champions, then they beat Bayern Munich, German champions, and then Juve, Serie A champions in the final. But my point is, they beat the best teams you could possibly win on the road to winning the UCL. They won a Liga against a really, really good Madrid side. And then they won the Copa del Rey against Athletic Club in dominant fashion. So Barca 2015 is not the most overrated team of all time. Sam, if you're watching this, which you probably are, don't take this personal. You know, sometimes I hate using you as an example. You know what I mean? I hate it. But, you know, sometimes you have to do it. Sometimes you have to do it. This is something that I've learned being a parent. Sometimes you got to make an example so other people don't repeat the same mistake. So don't do it again, please. I beg you. Our next take is brought to you by me with a bald head and a goatee, looking like a creepy PE teacher. Hey girls, today we're doing swim class. Anyway, Salah's had a better peak/consistency than Gareth Bale. Is this really a hot take? Like, do people have Gareth Bale ahead of Mohamed Salah in their all-time rankings? Because I don't. And people think I'm a Gareth Bale hater. I promise you I'm not. I just think Gareth Bale is slightly overrated by people. But here's one thing I'll say. The peak argument is definitely close. I think most people are expecting me to sit here and say, no, the peak argument is not close. Give it to Mohamed Salah. It's definitely close because Gareth Bale on his peak, when he was at Spurs and early days at Madrid, he was an athletic anomaly like I've never seen in my life. He was so powerful. He was so direct. He had so much fucking pace. He never seemed to run out of breath. He was honestly ridiculous, bro. He genuinely was. You would turn on the TV and watch Gareth Bale at Spurs or at Madrid in his early days, like I said, and you would really think this guy was made on a lot. Because, again, he was just insane, bro. Like, that goal against Mark Bartra where he skins him down the touchline, it's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in my life. And I'm trying to give him some credit here because I do think his peak was great. I think, though, even though it's close, Mohamed Salah had a higher peak because Mohamed Salah, since he got to Liverpool, has finished in the top 5 of the Ballon d'Or multiple times. He's had so many historic seasons in the Premier League. So for me, Mohamed Salah in his peak was better than Gareth Bale. And I think Mohamed Salah is literally, I think he's still in his peak. I think this past season he just had is one of his best seasons ever. But to me, Mohamed Salah in his peak, he's put up production in the Premier League that we really haven't seen in a long time. You know, like, we've seen it, I shouldn't say that, we've seen it, but it's far and few between. You know, you had that Haaland season, you had the Suarez season, you had Ronaldo, you had Henry. Like, those are the players we're talking about. That's the room that he's in when you're talking about, like, all-time Premier League seasons or all-time Premier League production. He's with those guys. And Gareth Bale, while he was great in the Prem, never really put up those numbers again because he wasn't as much of as an attacking threat. He wasn't nearly, like, Gareth Bale was more of like a wing back while he was at Spurs, to be completely honest. So you have to track back and all that shit. But anyway, for me, I think Mohamed Salah had a higher peak because I think he just had more production. Consistency, though, it's not even close. And that's really what puts, to me, Mohamed Salah over the top when we're talking about him and Gareth Bale. Mohamed Salah has just been far more consistent than Gareth Bale. Like I said, Gareth Bale, early days at Spurs and at Madrid, early days, was amazing. But then after 2015 or 2016, after that final Milan, his role in that team started kind of dwindling down more and more up until the point where he became irrelevant for that team. Mohamed Salah never became irrelevant for any Liverpool team. He's been the cornerstone piece for that team since he got there. You know, he's been elite for what, 7-8 seasons now. So even at Roma, if you want to look at him at Roma, he was really, really good at Roma as well. So for me, consistency 100% goes to Mohamed Salah. Mohamed Salah has been one of the best players in the world for over half a decade at this point, and Gareth Bale could never say that. But again, I do think peak is close. And if you want to say one thing about Gareth Bale that Mohamed Salah doesn't have, one point to Gareth Bale is that his international legacy is immense, man. I mean, people talk about how Ronaldo put Portugal on the map, or, you know, Modric put Croatia on the map, and that's true and that's cool. Gareth Bale really put Wales on the map. Like, he really put Wales on the map. That Euro in 2016 with Robson Kanu, where he got them to the Euro semifinal and then qualifying them for their first World Cup in their history, that cannot go under the radar, man. It cannot go under the radar. So again, Gareth Bale for Wales was amazing. He probably has that over Mohamed Salah international legacy. But peak and consistency for me, I agree. I'm going to give it to Mohamed Salah over Gareth Bale. Our next take is Jamal won't reach the heights he's capable of achieving if he continues on his current path outside of football, and Bale will reach a greater peak than him, except if Jamal fixes his lifestyle outside of football. I'm so sick of this conversation about Lamine Jamal off the pitch and trying to analyze his every move and trying to parent this guy like he's our fucking kid, bro. He's not my kid. I already have 3 kids. He's not my kid. I'm not adopting Lamine Jamal. Actually, I would love to because that means I'm set for life. But anyway, he's like, we're not his parent, bro. Let the fucking kid do whatever he wants. And K9 RL said it best. Shout out to K9 because he had this take. It wasn't me, so credit to him. He said that we as Barca fans, or as football fans in general, we were spoiled by Messi and Ronaldo. Guys were just focused on playing football and they were so committed to the craft that now we see a guy go out and have a little bit of fun and celebrate his 18th birthday, and we're acting like it's the end of the world. He's not going to achieve his potential. What the fuck are we talking about, bro? Are we going to pretend like Lamine Jamal is the only athlete to have fun in his free time? Are we going to really are we really going to do that right now? Michael Jordan, who a lot of people consider to be the greatest basketball player of all time, he would go out and gamble all night and probably go to strip clubs and have a little bit of fun, get his tip wet, and he would still go out there the next day and dominate and drop 35 on your favorite player. And Michael Jordan has one of the greatest legacies of any sports figure ever. You know, John Jones, one of the greatest UFC fighters of all time. A lot of people think he's the GOAT. John Jones is doing cocaine, he's partying, he's doing a bunch of stupid shit, and guess what? He still gets in the cage and dominates. Because success doesn't have to follow one path. You could take multiple routes and still be successful. You don't have to take the messy route. You don't have to be this humble guy who's always in his house and not partying and all that shit. You don't have to just do that to be successful. You can take multiple routes to success. Everybody's career is different. So to act like everybody has to follow this one path in order to achieve success, to me is ignorant and it's naive, man. He's an 18-year-old kid with a fuck ton of money. With a fuck ton of money, bro. This guy is shitting money. He cleans his ass with money and he's 18 years old. So what if he invited a bunch of little people to his party? They said there was nothing wrong with what they did. They were hired there. They performed legal things. And like people are calling him, they're saying he's Prime Diddy. Come on, bro. Like what are we doing here? P. Diddy, like not to be this guy like a buzzkill, but P. Diddy was accused of some terrible things. And he got out. I don't know how the fuck he got away with it. But he was accused of some awful things, bro. So to put Lamine Jamal and P. Diddy in the same conversation to me just because he had a bunch of little people at his party is stupid. All the reporting coming out of that party, by the way, is extremely unreliable and just false. And people making videos on that shit, to me, is honestly stupid. That's why I never made a video on it. Because to me, it's stupid. You're hopping on this train and trying to, you're trying to gain relevance by talking about this, when in reality, you have no fucking idea what you're talking about. You really have no idea what you're talking about. So, I know I might sound a little bit upset here, but I just feel like people are sometimes too obsessed with what these athletes do outside of the pitch, and they act like they have to follow this exact route that they have in their head for them to reach success. Lamine Yamal is going to dominate next season probably, and he likes to party, he likes to hook up with older girls, which I think is a little bit weird from the girl mostly, but whatever, he likes to do that shit. He's a human being. He just happens to be exceptionally good at one thing, which is football, that we all love. But I don't see how this is going to affect his career. I think you could party and you could do a bunch of fun stuff and still go out on the pitch and do your job and do it at the best of your ability, because we've seen thousands of athletes throughout the year do that. Most pro athletes, when you have that much money and you're that young and you have that much clout and that much power at that young of an age, it's, you know, you're going to have some fun. And again, people are talking about how he's a Muslim, he shouldn't be doing that. Look, man, I don't practice Islam. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know the ins and outs of the religion. I respect the religion, of course, just like I respect every religion. Yeah, every religion. Just like I do. But again, if your argument is because, you know, he's not being a good Muslim, that's fine. I'm simply talking about what he's like. I'm simply talking about how the fact that I don't think that partying is going to ruin his career, which I think anybody who thinks that is, quite frankly, they don't know what they're talking about, to be completely honest. Our next take is Rafinha should win the Ballon d'Or. Should he win the Ballon d'Or? Probably. Is he going to win the Ballon d'Or? No, he's not. And I think the Ballon d'Or is going to go to Ousmane Dembélé. And honestly, I would not be upset about that. I think Ousmane Dembélé, if he wins the Ballon d'Or this year, he would be the rightful winner of the award. He would be the rightful winner. He was the best player on the team that won the UCL and won the treble. And his production was insane. So everybody acting like Ousmane Dembélé doesn't deserve to win the Ballon d'Or, to me, it's insane. He 100% deserves to win it if he wins it. Now, if Rafinha wins it, he also deserves to win it. I think Rafinha's production this year in Europe was insane. Obviously, we saw how many goals and assists he put up. His big game performances were amazing. He was the most productive player on one of the best attacks in European football this season. Rafinha did that. And a lot of Barca fans are talking about how Rafinha got brought down to prop up Lamine Yamal for the Ballon d'Or. I was never a part of that. I would never bring down a Barca player to prop up another Barca player. That's not me personally, but a lot of people were doing it. Oh, it's not Rafinha anymore, it's Lamine Yamal. I think a lot of people were saying that mostly because Lamine Yamal, in the last 2 months of the season, in the key stretches of the UCL and the Copa Rey Fano and La Liga, he was the one who kind of, you know, he had more stand-up performances than Rafinha. And unfortunately for us football fans, we have kind of like a goldfish memory. You know, we just remember the most recent thing. We have a lot of recency bias. So I think that's why mostly Barca fans were propping up Lamine Yamal instead of Rafinha. But again, we can't forget what Rafinha did throughout the whole season. So again, should he win the Ballon d'Or? He definitely should be in the podium. He should finish in the top 3. Is he going to win it? Probably not. Our next take is the World Cup is what truly creates a reputation and is so important in regards to developing an all-timer resume, but it can also lead to overrating players who did very little for their clubs and achieved practically nothing of immense significance. For example, I believe Henry is either equal to or better than R9 ability-wise, yet R9 is a player that constantly gets ranked top 3 to 5 all time for 2 great tournament runs, and Henry is lucky to be in the top 10 despite Henry's way better and more complete career at club level. That is a great take. That is a great take, and that example that you used of those 2 players, it's amazing, man. Honestly, it's amazing. I do believe that Henry is a guy who... Henry, by the way, won a World Cup. People forget about that. He was part of that team in '98. He actually scored in that World Cup run. Henry won a World Cup, but again, when people think about R9, the first image that comes to their head is that haircut and him putting the goals past fucking Oliver Kahn in that final in Korea and Japan in 2002 where he scored the brace. So, you know, people don't really think about Henry as a World Cup winner, but the first thing people say when they talk about R9, well, he won a World Cup. He won a World Cup. And to me, again, I think R9 is a great player, but he's one of those guys that people dick ride so much for really, like, it's weird to me. Honestly, it is. I think R9 was a great player, but his club career cannot compare to Henry's. Henry was one of the best players in the Premier League, or the best player in the Premier League for the vast majority of his career. Henry won a UCL. He was part of a treble-winning team in Barca in 08-09. R9 never won the UCL. And peak for peak, it's very, very close. People think that R9 has this insane peak that nobody can reach. I've seen people say that R9 has a better peak than CR7 and than Messi. You're smoking crack. You're smoking dick. I don't know what you're smoking, but honestly, keep it to yourself because I don't want any part of it. I don't want any part of it. Like, Henry is up there with greatest peaks of a player we've seen, especially in this century or this generation. He was fucking amazing. Another guy that goes through this is Zidane. Oh, Zidane in '98, Zidane in 06. He's the best midfielder of all time because he won the World Cup and then he had this great tournament run in 06. And I think Zidane is great. But is his club career really comparable to Andres Iniesta's or Luka Modric or Xavi Hernandez? And Xavi and Iniesta won a World Cup, but even Modric, his club career is not comparable to Modric. All he has is that he won that World Cup in '98, which again is a great trophy. I don't want to make it sound like I'm diminishing the World Cup because I do think it's a great trophy, but I think it's a cherry on top. Like I've said multiple times, your club career makes up most of your career. The World Cup and international tournaments are a small fraction of it. So, again, I do agree with this take. I think a lot of times people overrate players because they won a World Cup. And it's really, really frustrating because there's a lot of players that never won the World Cup, but they are better than players that won the World Cup. I know that sounds very obvious, but it's true. A lot of people might not see it that way. Oh, this guy's a World Cup winner, so he has to be better. A lot of times, and most of the time, that's really not the case at all. Our next take is, if Isak joins Liverpool, they will dominate Europe and win every single trophy. Not a crazy take at all. Now, luckily for the rest of Europe, non-Liverpool fans, it looks like this summer, at least, they're not going to sign Alexander Isak. They're going to go for Hugo Ekitike, obviously from Frankfurt, which is he's still a great striker, but it's not Alexander Isak. If they get Isak, and they pair him with Florian Wirtz, and they pair him with Mohamed Salah, and they pair him with Virgil van Dijk, and they pair him with Alexis McAllister, it's going to be scary hours for the rest of Europe because that is an insanely good team. We know that Liverpool, something that they've been lacking for a long time now, is a threat at number 9 because Darwin Núñez, God love him, he's been kind of a flop since he got to Liverpool. It's just the fact of the matter. I don't think he's been the worst player ever, but he's been kind of a flop. He has not lived up to the hype. And they've been missing that threat at number 9. Isak would be insane for that team, bro. He would be ridiculous for that team. Honestly, it would be unfair. Seeing Isak and Mohamed Salah, and McAllister, and Florian Wirtz, and Szoboszlai, and Gravenberch, it would be crazy, bro. It'd honestly be insane. So if Isak joins Liverpool, I could definitely see them maybe winning a quadruple. I really could. Because we saw this Liverpool team last year dominate the Premier League without an Alexander Isak. And now they're going to add Isak. Now again, this might age like Mbappe and Real Madrid. You know, if Mbappe lands at Madrid, the world, Barcelona doesn't have to be ready. The world has to be ready. Take that A9 skill side. So maybe this ages like that. Maybe I become a meme in the future if Isak does join Liverpool and they don't win anything. They go trophyless. But I don't think it's going to happen because Alexander Isak is a guy who basically fits into any team in world football. As a lone number 9, he fits into any team in world football. And if he joins Liverpool, it really will be scary hours, not just for the Prem, but for every team that's trying to win the biggest competition in European football, which is, of course, the UCL. Our next take is, the football today does not compare to how it was in the early 2000s and 2010s. Back then, you had legends upon legends playing week in and week out, intense rivalries, but today, it's just not like that anymore. I feel like we see this take every single day. I feel like everybody has this take all the time. Football today is not what it used to be. Basketball today is not what it used to be. American football today is not what it used to be. Baseball today is not what it used to be. Everybody misses the old days, bro. Can you guys just appreciate the moment you're living in right now? Why does it always have to be compared to the old days, bro? Why do we always have to compare everything to the old days? Like, imagine if you're with your girlfriend, like your current girlfriend right now, and you always told her, man, that your cooking is good, but my ex was so much better. She'd be like, bro, you're fucking weird. Like, what are you doing? Why do you keep comparing me to your ex? She'd probably leave you. And if she doesn't, then she has some serious self-esteem issues. So in that case, she should probably stay with her. But anyway, no, I'm kidding. Don't do that. That's fucked up. Not funny. Get it together, okay? Get it together. But my point is, you can't always be comparing people. Like, you can't, like, comparing everything to the past is the easiest way to never enjoy anything. You'll never enjoy anything if you keep comparing it to the past. Like, yes, football in the 2000s and the 2010s was great. I think people overly romanticize older eras of sports just because they grew up in that era. They just grew up in that era. I think football now is in a great place, man. Look at all the young talent we have in football. Look at all the young talent we have in football. It's honestly amazing. It is. It's great. Like, even in the UCL semifinal, we had Bukayo Saka going up against Ousmane Dembélé and Declan Rice and Kvaratskhelia and João Neves and Vitinha, like, and William Pacho going up against Saliba. Like, we have these guys who have all-time great potential, bro. Look at the Barca Madrid matchups this year, bro. That's like, it's not really peak El Clasico because it's not Messi Ronaldo, but those teams are all, those are the Clásicos that will probably go down in history at some point. So I look at the Prem every single week and I see quality in every single team, bro. I see guys that have the potential to be all-time greats. We have guys like Mohamed Salah and Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland who are building a legacy to potentially finish in the top 10, maybe all-time for some of those guys. So I don't understand this obsession with always comparing football to the past. Again, I grew up in the 2000s. I grew up in the 2010s. I love that time. I love that time. You know what I mean? Like, but it's just, I think football now is just, it's in a really healthy place, and I love the games that we're seeing, and I love the players that are coming up. I just really enjoy football now. It's like for example, Disney Channel, right? Disney Channel now sucks. I haven't watched it in years, but I promise you, Disney Channel when I was growing up was Zack and Cody and Hannah Montana and That's So Raven and Lizzie McGuire and all these fucking shows. It was amazing, bro. What's that show of the guy that sings and the girl that's shy and she doesn't know how to sing and she writes some songs? Anyway, that show was good too. You know, Nickelodeon had iCarly and SpongeBob and That's Declassified. Like, you know, like back in the day, those shows were great. That's different because that's a TV show, so I don't know what I'm going here. But anyway, my point is, I don't even know what that whole tangent was. To be completely honest with you guys, I thought I was going to make a really, really cool point But I just realized that old Disney shows were better, and it brought me back to my childhood. But anyway, my point is, football now is in a great place. Maybe it's not where you want it to be. Maybe it's not the way that it was when you were growing up. But to say that football, you know, it doesn't compare, it's kind of, I don't know, that sounds kind of stupid to me. Our next take is, Luis Diaz is being underlooked, and I think he would cook under Flick. I think people are misinterpreting why Barca fans would be upset about the Luis Diaz signing. It's not about Lucho as a player. I think Lucho's a great player. If he was a free agent on the market, I'd say snatch him up immediately, right now. Bring him into the team right now. But for the price tag Liverpool are asking for, over 70 million, it's stupid. It's nonsensical. Nobody with a brain would ever make that move. No club like Barcelona should ever be interested in signing a player of that age and that caliber for that amount of money, man. Especially when you have other holes you need to fill in the team. So I wouldn't be upset if Luis Diaz joins Barca from Liverpool for 10 million. I wouldn't care. But for 70 million, it's stupid to me. So, again, I think Luis Diaz would do good under Flick, because I think any player does good under Flick, because Flick is a fucking generational manager. But for 70 million, hell no, bro. It would be nonsensical. Our next take is, PSG 2025 is the best football team in the 2020s. People continue to drink the PSG Kool-Aid, even after that loss to Chelsea. And I don't blame them, man. PSG had a great season, obviously won the treble, won the UCL in dominant fashion. So I do think they're one of the best teams of the 2020s, but they're not better than Bayern Munich 2019-2020. They're not better than Man City 22-23. They're just not. I'm sorry, they're not. They are not a better team than those two teams. Both of those teams also won the treble, and both of those teams had better squads, and they were just as dominant and tougher leagues, honestly. So I think PSG, this PSG team is great. They're not better than those two teams. 100% no. Our next take is, Prime Sterling is better than Prime Vini. No, what are we doing here? No. And I'm a big fan of Raheem Sterling. I thought in his time at the Prem, he was overly criticized for reasons that I know why, but I'm not going to say. But Raheem Sterling was always overly criticized for things outside of the pitch and people attacking his character. And I hated that, by the way. It's the same reason, by the way, that people hate on Vini. Both of these guys get scrutinized for things that I'll never understand. But to say that Prime Raheem Sterling is better than Prime Vini was the best player in a UCL winning team. He was one of the top 3 players on another UCL winning team. Prime Vinicius Jr. should have won a Ballon d'Or and finished in the top 3 of Ballon d'Or voting. Raheem Sterling never did that. So again, to say that Prime Vini's not as good as Prime Sterling is a crazy take. I don't agree with this at all. No. And our final take in today's video is, Dean Hoyson is Madrid's only good center back. That's a bit harsh to El Militao and Rudiger. And Asensio even. I think look, man, Asensio didn't have the best Club World Cup, but I think everybody's saying he's a shit center back now. No, he's not. You don't become shit after 3 games in the Club World Cup. Again, I understand he wasn't great. Had a lot of mistakes. He looked like a fish out of water in that Club World Cup. But he was Madrid's best defender all season, bro. And I think El Militao, when he comes back from injury, he's still a really good player. I think Rudiger is a little bit crazy at times, a little bit overrated by Madrid fans. But he's decent. But to say that Dean Hoyson is Madrid's best center back, and he's the one that has he doesn't have the bozo gene in him, because a lot of those guys do have the bozo gene in them, okay, and have the ability to make mistakes at any given moment. Dean Hoyson is not like that. He's very composed. He's very clean on the ball. He's just a great center back. But to say he's Madrid's only good center back, to me, is kind of insane. But he's definitely their best one, 100% their best one. But yeah, man, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I love every single one of you guys. Thank you so much for all the support. If you guys want to check out my NBA channel, I will leave a link to it in the description. My first video is going to be, I'm editing it right now, by the way. It's going to be ranking every single LeBron James season. It's like over an hour long, so if you guys want to check that out, the link is in my description. If you guys want to check out the best graphic tees in the game, check out thefinalthreat.com. The link is also in the description. I have a couple designs coming out soon, which I'm excited to show you guys. But yeah, man, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for the support. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.